I can't decide what to read. So I'm going to read all of these. I am in a little bit of a reading slump. I am reading A Million to One by D.B. Darder. I'm about 106 pages in. But it's not really grabbing my attention. I think I had kind of mismarketed it to myself. So I think I need to know where I'm going to go next with what book I want to read. And because it's March, all I want to read are Irish books. That happens every single year. I only ever want to read Irish books in March as a celebration of Irishness, of my heritage, etc. So I have taken every single Irish book that I own off my physical TBR and I'm going to read the first chapter of each of them. This has been done so many times on BookTube. The most recent one that I have seen was Kayla from Books and Lala. She did it with all of the physical unread books on her shelf. I have got a load of Irish books also on my Kindle, but I'm not going to take those down. I'm not going to take those out and I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to do the physical ones today. So let's start a chapter of every single one of them and see if there's any I want to keep, if there's any I want to read immediately, if there's any that I can kind of put on the back burner, or if there's any of them that I want to say goodbye to. I'm going to start with just the start at the top of the panel, and that is The Mystery of Mercy Close by Marion Keyes. I got this kind of as a second-hand gift from Rachel from Machel Kerris. I got this about maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe the start of the pandemic. This is the last book of the Walsh Sisters series. It follows Helen, and I think that this has got a lot of depression representation in it. It's got a lot of kind of anxiety representation in it. But I'm only going to read the first chapter. Let's see if this clocks me in. Let's see how we find it. Okay, that was 14 pages and a prologue of fine. I think I'm interested in it because I'm really interested in the Walsh family series. It's one that I want to finish out. I really love all of their parents. I really love their parents. They're so funny. And this first chapter here mainly focused on the two of them. So I really liked that one. I think it's going to go into a not immediately. I'll try it again maybe in a couple of months. But I think for now it's probably going to go in the not immediately pile. So that's the first one done. The second one is When All Is Said by Anne Griffin. I got this in January when I was in Drogheda with a friend of mine. It was recommended to me by Ross from the Instagram account Reads with Ross, who was a bookseller there at the time. Oh, this chapter is quite long. I've heard really good things about this one, and I'm pretty sure that it is soul destroying. So I really hope that the first chapter isn't going to be as upsetting and as kind of downheartening as I'm expecting it to be. But let's give it a try. This is stunning. This is so good. It is a little bit heartbreaking, and this isn't any of the toasts that Morris is going to be doing to the 5 people he knows. This is more so setting the scene. He's in the pub, it's in Meath, he's like sat at the bar, ordered a bottle, has a glass, starting to pour out the first one. I think this is definitely going in the very soon pile. This is going in the very near future pile. So that's that one done. Next up is All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. This is a YA one. This has kind of like witchy vibes. So because it's a YA, I'm kind of expecting that the chapter is going to be quite short. Let's get into it. Let's see where we go. Shocked and appalled to tell you that good things can come from Cork. Given the last line of the chapter of this, I think this is the one that I'm most intrigued by. This is the one that I'm most, as of now, and I know I'm only 3 books deep, this is the one that I most want to keep reading. This is the one that I want to find out what's happening. Also, These illustrations are absolutely stunning. I think this is the US version of the book, but it has some absolutely stunning illustrations across the whole book of tarot cards. I'm in. This is going on the must read immediately pile. This is the must read immediately book. So, next one. Another one to come out of Cork. Forever Home by Graham Norton. I've read a lot of Graham Norton's books. So let's see how this one goes, because a lot of them have been hit or miss. I really loved A Keeper. I really loved Homestretch. Didn't love Holding as much. So let's see where on the pile this one falls. This is certainly not right now. It's fine. It's not the worst book I've ever read. It's just not gripping me immediately. There's nothing in it that I need to know what's happening. Why is this happening? Who is this person? Why has all this happened? I think I'm going to put it in the maybe in 6 months pile, but it's definitely one that I don't need to read it right away. We're on my lunch break. We're continuing the chaos, and there's a good chance that I need to sneeze before this clip is finished. But I'm going to continue today with some more of the books in the pile, and I'm hopefully going to have something more concrete that I can decide from. I slept on it overnight, and I think I might put The Mystery of Mercy Close a little bit higher on my TBR. I have got this big affinity for Mammy Walsh. I have got this big affinity for Marion Keyes. And unless any of the other Marion Keyes books in this pile really speaks to me, I probably will end up going back to The Mystery of Mercy Close. But we've got another Marion right now in the other side of the story. I think this is about a journalist, a literary agent, and an author. And I think that there's a kind of a cheating narrative in this. And I'm not a huge fan of cheating narratives, but let's go into it open-minded and let's see where we go. This is not hitting at all. The main character's dad has kind of just walked out of on the family, but I'm not intrigued to know why. I'm not intrigued to know if he's going to come back, if he's got another partner, if he's just having like a midlife crisis, which is what they're kind of assuming that he's having. I'm not interested to find out why. I don't know if that's right now or if that's ever, but this is definitely not going in the immediately pile. This is definitely going in the maybe in 6 months, maybe later on pile. So next up is To Sally Rooney and Beautiful World, Where Are You? This one has got fairly short chapters, so I feel like I'll be done with this quite soon, but I know what Sally Rooney's writing style is like. I know that she doesn't have any quotation marks in her books, so that might make it a little bit more of a lengthened out reading journey, but let's figure out how I feel about this one. Is this going to make sense? Probably not. Am I going to say it anyway? Absolutely. This reads very Sally Rooney. You can definitely tell that this is a Sally Rooney book, and not just because it doesn't use any of the quotation marks, but it has the same kind of feeling as Normal People did. I am intrigued by this. I think I'm going to put it into the immediately within the next 6 months pile. I don't know if it's going to be like a straight away within the next 6 months, but I am definitely going to get to it quite soon. It's significantly later. The workday is over. I'm ready to do another couple of books, another couple of first chapters, and we're back with Marion Keyes again with Sushi for Beginners. I think this is one that I got as a gift. I don't remember who from. I have no idea what this is about. And I have a feeling that this one is also going to be quite long in chapter, but I'm going to give it a try. Let's see how it goes. I don't expect there to be a lot of references to sushi, but let's see where we end up. I think as of right now, this is the Marion Keyes book that I am the most interested in finding out more. So this is about Lisa in the first chapter, who is expecting to be relocated to New York, but is actually relocated to Dublin. Has never been to Dublin before, has never even taken a holiday there. So I am kind of intrigued to see what Dublin is going to be like in the eyes of an outsider. Having lived there for 5 years, I know it really well. So I always feel like seeing it from the eyes of somebody who's just moved there, or characters who are going on holiday, I always feel like that's really intriguing and really exciting. So I think this is actually going to go in the immediate pile, in the within the next 6 months pile. And then we go on to the next one. Unraveling Oliver by Liz Nugent. One of my favourite Irish writers at the moment. Everything that I have read of hers has just been gold. So I'm almost expecting to want to keep reading from chapter 1. I'm almost expecting to not want to put this book down. Let's see if I'm right. Chance that this entire video is in jeopardy because I just want to read this now that I've started it. I want to read this. I want to keep going and find out what's happening with Alice and Oliver's marriage. I want to find out why there's so much friction between the two of them and what kind of a person Oliver is. This is not just going in the immediately pile. I think this is going to be the next book up from what I'm going to read. So I'm going to put that in the pile right now. And then on to another thriller, which is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I know she is not technically Irish. I think she has an Irish passport. She got Irish citizenship maybe 2-3 years ago. So I'm putting her on as an honorary Irish person. I finished the first chapter and the prologue that was there before it. And I'm not as invested as I was with Unraveling Oliver. So I feel like this thriller is going to go into the 6 months pile. I'm intrigued, but not as much as I would have been with Unraveling Oliver. There's things that I want to know, but I don't necessarily feel like I need to know them immediately. Whereas with the other one, I had to know it straight away. 3 left and we're done. And hopefully we're going to have some level of success with these. So, first one, The Woman Who Stole My Life by Marion Keyes. I got this as a gift from Paige from Pages with Paige. And I do believe that that was for my birthday in 2020. As in 3 years ago. So this has been on my shelf for long enough that now I genuinely think it's time. I've had mixed success with Marion Keyes in this experiment. Some have been great. Some have almost come off my TBR entirely. I really hope that this one isn't going to be in the middle. I really hope that this one is going to hit the mark that I wanted to hit. This I want to know a little bit more. This is about a woman who crashes into a guy who drives a Range Rover, and he asks for her number for the insurance, but she thinks that he's hitting on her. And I think that there's going to be some kind of, they cross paths now and then, because there's a lot of mention of karma in that first chapter that I've read. So I'm very interested to see if that's going to impact her again in future. So I think that's going to be in the next 6 months immediate pile. And next one up is 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. This feels very timely because only the other day was the anniversary of the first lockdown in Ireland, of the day that we all had to stay at home, of the day of everything closing down. So I feel like this is quite a timely book to read. I might be a little bit removed from the situation enough that I can read it and enjoy it. So I'm going to give it a try and I'm going to give it a go. Okay, this is good. The first chapter is set today, so I'm assuming that it is sometime after most of the restrictions have been lifted, sometime after most of the country has gone back to normal. And I'm really intrigued by the 56 Days Ago, which is the name of the next chapter that I would be reading. I really need to know what's going to happen. This one is kind of like the aftermath. People are just waking up and there is a man being arrested, but we don't know why, what for, who. I'm intrigued. I would like to read this immediately. I would like to keep reading this. I think this one is going to be in the next 6 months for sure. So we're on to the last one, Promise. It's another chunker, The Brightest Star in the Sky by Marion Keyes. I think this is the one that is set on a street in Dublin, and the street's called Star Street. It is. And this is about all of the people that are living on the street and their lives and how they intertwine and how they disperse. Interesting concept. Let's see how Marion does. We want a good one to finish out the vlog. We want a good one to finish out this experiment. Let's hope for it. Okay, this one feels a little magical realism-y, and I'm not entirely sure that I'm up for it at the moment. The first chapter is set around a party in early June at somebody's house on Star Street. And you're seeing everything through this omniscient narrator who reminds me a lot of a spirit who has entered the house. And I don't know that this is exactly the kind of vibe that I'm going for right now. So this, I think, is gonna have to go in 6 months' time. This is gonna have to be in the 6 months' time pile. Everything's done. The entire thing is finished. Let's hold this up and show you what's coming in the next 6 months for me. Is all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them to pick from. So anytime that I feel like I want to read something by an Irish author or something for the rest of the Irish Readathon, it's probably going to be one of these. Is there any of these that you think that I should start with? Is there any of these that you have read yourself and you think would be a really great place to start? Or have I put any of these in the wrong pile and I actually should keep them for the next 6 months after this? If you would like to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything that you would like to say, then just leave me the green heart emoji. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.